All right, so you're thinking about hiring a usability engineer. Awesome. You're in the right place to learn how. These folks are really the key to making sure your product isn't just functional, but that people actually enjoy using it.
Exactly. You know, they make that connection between the technology and the humans who use it.
Right. You don't just want your product to work, you want people to love using it.
Absolutely.
So to help you get started, we've actually partnered with theperfectdeveloper.com, and they are like the experts at connecting people with the right developers. In fact, why don't you pause this deep dive for just a second and try out their 5 questions tool. It's a really quick and easy way to get a feel for what kind of usability engineer you might need. Just head over to theperfectdeveloper.com and give it a whirl.
Now, you might be wondering what exactly as a usability engineer, how are they different from just any other developer?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I mean, they're both tech savvy, right?
Yeah. Well, think about it this way. A software developer builds the engine of a car, make sure it runs. But a usability engineer, they design the dashboard, the seats, the steering wheel, everything that makes that car comfortable and easy to drive.
Well, that's a great analogy. So it's not just about the function, it's about making the whole experience top-notch.
Exactly. So while a software developer focuses mainly on code and functionality, a usability engineer dives deep into user behavior, psychology, and design principles. The goal is to make your product really intuitive and enjoyable for everyone.
Okay, so let's say I'm ready to start hiring. What kind of superpowers should I be looking for in a usability engineer?
Well, the perfectdeveloper.com actually breaks down some key skills. Of course, you want someone with at least some technical proficiency, someone who understands how to use tools like Hotjar for tracking user behavior or Figma for prototyping designs.
Right, so they need to be comfortable with the tech side of things.
Yeah, but it's more than just knowing the tools.
Okay, so what else?
You also need someone with strong analytical thinking skills. They should be able to look at data from user testing, understand the why behind user behavior, and then use those insights to actually improve the product.
So they're like detectives of the digital world.
Exactly. They're uncovering clues about how people really use a product.
I love that.
And another one, don't underestimate the importance of good communication skills. A usability engineer needs to be able to translate those technical insights into plain English so everyone from the developers to the executives can understand.
Right, it's all about making sure everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. Now, here's one that might surprise you. Empathy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you want someone who can truly put themselves in the user's shoes, someone who understands their needs, their frustrations, and what will make them happy.
They're designing for humans.
Exactly. And finally, experience is always a plus. You want someone with a proven track record of conducting usability tests, analyzing results, and actually making those impactful changes to a product.
Okay, so now I've got a pretty good idea of the skills to look for. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Money. What kind of salary range should I be thinking about for a usability engineer?
Well, that's where it gets a little tricky. It can vary widely depending on location and experience, but theperfectdeveloper.com has some great insights on typical salary ranges. In the US, you're looking at about $80,000 to $120,000 per year for someone with a few years of experience.
Okay, so that gives me at least a ballpark. What about other parts of the world?
In Europe, you might see salaries around 50 to 80,000 euros per year. Asia tends to be a bit lower, perhaps $10 to $30,000 annually. And Australia falls somewhere in between, with salaries around 90 to 120,000 Australian dollars.
So location definitely plays a big role. What other factors influence those differences?
Well, experience is a huge one, as you can imagine. Someone fresh out of school won't command the same salary as a seasoned usability engineer, of
Right.
course. And the industry they're working in can make a difference too.
Right, like tech versus something else.
Exactly. Tech-heavy industries like software or e-commerce usually offer higher salaries for usability engineers. Now, let's say you've got a good handle on the skills and salary expectations. You're probably wondering how to actually bring a usability engineer on board.
Yeah, that's the next step.
Should you hire full-time, part-time, in-house outsource? There are a lot of options.
It can be tough to know where to start.
Well, the best way to figure that out is to really think about your specific needs and the scope of your project. Each option has its pros and cons, if you're a larger company with a long-term project. And a strong commitment to UX, a full-time in-house usability engineer might be the ideal fit. You'll have a dedicated expert fully immersed in your product and brand.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I imagine that could be a pretty big investment.
Yeah.
Especially for smaller companies or startups.
You're right. And that's where part-time or outsourcing can be really attractive options. Part-time arrangements can be more cost-effective, allowing you to tap into expertise without the full financial commitment. Outsourcing opens up a global talent pool, giving you access to specialized skills that you might not find locally.
So there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Nope. You really have to weigh the pros and cons based on your own circumstances.
Makes sense.
So carefully consider your project, scope your budget, and your long-term goals, and to explore the possibilities and get a clearer picture of the talent landscape. ThePerfectDeveloper.com can be a great resource. They can connect you with a network of vetted professionals and help you find the perfect match for your needs.
Okay, so let's say we've figured out the hiring part. We've got some promising candidates. How do we actually vet them, make sure we're making the right choice?
Well, ThePerfectDeveloper.com suggests a multifaceted approach. You want to start with a thorough portfolio review. Look for detailed case studies that demonstrate the candidate's experience in action. You want to see evidence of their user research, their usability testing methodologies, and how they've translated feedback into tangible design improvements.
So it's not just about pretty designs. It's about understanding the thinking behind them.
Exactly.
So how do you go beyond the portfolio then? How can you assess their problem-solving skills in a more hands-on way?
That's where practical assessments come in. You could present them with a real-world scenario, like a sample interface, and ask them to identify usability issues, or have them create a quick prototype based on a specific brief. It's a chance to see their skills in action.
Oh, I like that.
And of course, you also want to conduct behavioral interviews.
Right.
These types of interviews really delve into a candidate's thought processes and how they approach challenges. Instead of just asking about their past experiences, inquire about specific situations and how they handled them.
So give me an example.
Sure, you could ask them to describe a time when usability testing revealed unexpected insights. This will give you a sense of their research approach and their ability to adapt.
Okay, so those are some good strategies for vetting candidates. Now I'm curious, what are some common mistakes people make when hiring usability engineers?
Oh, there are definitely a few traps people often fall into. One of the most common is overlooking those all-important soft skills.
You mean like communication and teamwork?
Exactly, those are crucial. While technical skills are essential, remember that usability engineers need to be exceptional communicators and collaborators. They'll be interacting with developers, designers, stakeholders, and even users themselves.
Right. They need to be able to get everyone on board with their ideas.
Exactly. Another tempting mistake is prioritizing cost over quality.
Ah, yes, the age-old dilemma.
It's easy to get lured in by a bargain, but remember, a poorly designed product can end up costing you far more in the long run.
How so?
Well, think about it. Frustrated users lead to bad reviews, low adoption rates, and ultimately a damaged reputation.
Ouch. Nobody wants that.
Nope.
So investing in a skilled usability engineer is really an investment in the success of the product itself.
Absolutely. I actually worked with a company once that chose the cheapest developer they could find to build their e-commerce site.
Oh no. What happened?
Well, the shopping cart functioned technically, but it was so confusing to use that customers were abandoning their purchases left and right.
That's a nightmare.
It was. They ended up having to bring in a usability expert to completely overhaul the user experience, which cost them way more time and money than if they'd just invested in a skilled usability engineer from the beginning.
So that was a painful lesson learned.
It was.
Okay, so let's say you've made the hire. You've dodged those common pitfalls. How do you keep your star usability engineer happy and engaged? Retention is so important these days.
It really is. ThePerfectDeveloper.com highlights several key strategies for retaining top talent. Competitive salaries are always a good starting point. Top talent knows their worth, and they expect to be compensated accordingly.
Of course. But I'm guessing it goes beyond just the paycheck.
You're absolutely right. Offering genuine opportunities for professional growth is crucial. Nobody wants to feel stagnant in their career, so provide your usability engineer with challenges that allow them to learn, grow, and expand their skill set.
So creating a culture of continuous learning.
Exactly.
What else contributes to a positive work environment?
Fostering a collaborative and supportive work environment is key. Usability engineers shouldn't feel like they're working in isolation. Encourage teamwork, open communication, and the sharing of ideas. And never underestimate the power of recognition. Acknowledge their achievements, celebrate their successes, and make them feel valued for their contributions.
So it's all about making them feel like a valued part of the team.
Exactly. But here's the one that often gets overlooked, especially in the fast-paced world of tech. Promoting work-life balance.
Oh, that's a good one. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget about taking breaks.
It is. And that kind of intense work pace can lead to burnout and ultimately a decline in the quality of work. Usability engineers need time to recharge, to step away from the screen, and to come back to their work with fresh eyes and a clear mind.
So it's not about being lazy, it's about being strategic and sustainable.
Exactly. And it's not just about offering like flexible hours or unlimited vacation days. It's about creating a culture where people feel genuinely supported in taking breaks, disconnecting from work, and prioritizing their well-being.
So finding and retaining top usability engineers. It sounds like it's a pretty multifaceted challenge. You need to offer competitive compensation, opportunities for growth, a collaborative environment, and a genuine commitment to work-life balance.
You got it. And if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all this, remember theperfectdeveloper.com is a fantastic resource. They can guide you through the process, help you clarify your needs, and connect you with the right talent for your project.
Okay, so it sounds like theperfectdeveloper.com is really the place to go if you're ready to start your search for a usability engineer.
Excellent.
Well, this has been a fantastic deep dive. I feel like I have a much better understanding of what usability engineers do, why they're so important, and how to find the right one for my team.
I'm glad to hear it. Remember, investing in a skilled usability engineer is an investment in the success of your product and the happiness of your users.
And on that note, we'll wrap things up here. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep creating amazing user experiences.